Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Kyle JustSole Clark is co-founder, artistic director, and choreographer at JustSole Street Dance Theater Company. Tonight he joins us to talk about his love for dance and where it's taken him thus far. Please help me welcome JustSole. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule. You're a busy man from what I'm reading to do this tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So listen, for those of us who don't know you that well, tell us a little about your background and how you fell in love with dance.
It started out as a child. I'm a Baltimore native.
Okay.
Coming out of Park Heights, West Side. My grandmother, both my grandmothers were career pianists of over 50 years, and both of my grandfathers were ministers. So by the time I was able to talk, they had me on the piano. So they gave me a lot of musical training as a child, and by 9 they realized that I was everywhere else but a piano. But the musical training kind of stuck, and so my grandmother saw that potential, and she said, "Hey, would you like to take a tap class?" Because she knew I really liked Gregory Hines. So that's kind of sort of how it started, and I went to a local dance studio called the Vase Christian School of Performing Arts through my middle and high school career, and then my grandmother, who had put me into those dance classes, had passed away. And so I auditioned for the University of the Arts and got in. And she had left me an inheritance of $25,000. And the week after I got my acceptance letter, I got that, and I asked the university, how much does it cost for 1 year? They said $25,000. So it's kind of serendipity and how that all played out. So I went to the University of the Arts, graduating in 2006 through the Modern Dance program. While there, I danced for Ilion Dance Theater and Rennie Harris Pure Movement. And with all of that being said, my love for dance came for that first time where I actually felt like what I felt on the inside was being articulated through my body. From that moment, I knew dance was the way I really wanted to go. It just was which way I wanted to go.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So then you go on, years later to create JustSole Street Dance Theater Company. What was what was the trajectory to get to that point?
Oh, wow. It was several things. It was more of a coming-of-age kind of thing. I had been a professional canvas for just about 10 years at that point. And I said to myself, well, I really feel like I can do more. I know that I'm capable of more. So I went in search of my voice. And being classically trained with ballet, modern, and jazz, and then doing hip-hop on my own, going to the clubs and partying and dancing. Once I got into Rennie Harris Pure Movement, Rennie Harris himself helped me realize that that hip-hop was a valid form of dance that was to be respected. And so with that, it was like, wow, I wanted to use that as my driving base hip-hop and spread my message of what it is that I wanted to say, inspire people. I was inspired to inspire. So starting JustSole Street Dance Theater was a way of me exercising my voice as well as my artistry.
Very nice. And what is the company mission?
The company's mission is to use street dance and theatrical principles to create an experience for its viewers through the stories that we share. The commonality in people are our experiences, emotions, and spirituality. So with that being said, just wanting to put out those messages in positivity. That's the mission.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, we all – with so much going on in the world today, we all need as much positivity as we can find and get. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. Definitely agree.
Well, tell us about some of your work as a dancer.
As a dancer,
yes, sir.
I've done a little bit of everything. I've done the dancing for professional dance companies. Also, I've done some international battling here and there. My wife, her name is Donita Clark, she and I have been really rooted in the dance scene in Philadelphia as well as globally. Having traveled and having these opportunities to battle really opened up a different space for us artistically where we go into battles and most people, may make up their steps. Us, we took the challenge of never making up a step for a battle, just letting the moment be an actual moment. So that was a growth factor as a battler. In dance as well as a canvas. That was fun times. And then teaching. So being collegiate educators now, Donita and myself, it's a responsibility to also allow people to understand the root that, creates the fruit.
Right, yeah. Great way of putting that. Were you surprised, as your career grew, were you surprised how big and deep-rooted the dance community was?
Oh, yes, very, very. The music history here in Philadelphia is so rich.
Yeah,
and it's such a soulful city. So once I came into, I instantly connected. My parents were Funketeers and were in love with R&B. I mean, my parents must have had over 2,500 records. We did it every single Saturday morning for cleanup. My dad would play different records, everything from brass construction to the Ohio players, you name it. Everything was played in the house. So to have that connection there and then move forward and find out the dances that were behind that music was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the international dance battles. How does that actually work? What can you expect at that?
Well, what can you expect? Have to show and prove what it is you have.
Right.
At the end of the day, hip-hop culture is a global phenomenon. There are kids on every corner of the planet doing some form of hip-hop dance. So when you walk into the building, you're not walking into people that don't know what you're doing. They really know what you're doing, and some of them know your history better than you. So it's expected to be on top of your game and technically clear with the craft.
Right. I can see it because it is interesting. Anyone who's traveled abroad, or if you watch, videos online where people are overseas, they know, even if they can't speak English, they know every word to our songs. They know every word. They know every dance move. And, it's amazing. It's amazing how music and dance and the arts really how it can just touch people internationally. We have more. We can identify each other through that.
Yes, most definitely. The soul by everyone.
Right, exactly. So talk about your work in the Philadelphia dance community. I know you touched on it, but can you go a little bit deeper for us?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. After traveling some time with Rennie Harris Pure Movement, went to a lot of countries, everywhere from England to Mexico to Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Egypt, Israel, Palestine. Once Danita and I saw their love for the craft and their love for the culture, it made us really recognize that this is an American dance, basically an American folk dance that needs to be preserved because commercialism has stripped away most of the essence of the dance and only presented certain ways. Kids nowadays are only going for the commercialized dancing instead of the authenticity. So in 2011, Danita and I decided that we wanted to preserve this culture for future generations. So we started an educational entity called Funky Soul Fundamentals, which its mantra is it's dedicated to the preservation of hip-hop, house, and funk-style dance. So what we do is we bring in the pioneers and innovators of the dance form. So just recently we had our brothers Tony McGregor and Sekou Kubaru, who are part of Dance Fusion Family, which are noted as the pioneering crew that pushed house dance all the way around the globe. They've come in. Most of them have come into our classes at our workshop. This April 8th, we're going to have Tyrone Proctor, who is a Philly native and also a pioneer of a dance style called whacking. And that fell in that subculture in between locking and popping and disco in that era. It was in there. So we really want to bring the people. They are still alive. Most of them are in their mid to late 40s or early 50s, and they're still out here doing it. So if they are, we bring them into Philadelphia so that these kids have a first-hand experience with the foundation of the dance form so we can bridge that generational gap.
Nice, very nice. I know. Yeah, exactly. You got to keep that going by teaching the next generation. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Can you tell us about the last month you did the life of JustSole? What was that about?
That was a production. My very first my mom always told me growing up, or as I was going through college, I went through so many things, ups and downs, of adjusting from coming from a 9-to-5 town, Baltimore,
right.
and then coming into a culturally rich city, Philadelphia. So it was definitely some culture shock there. And my mom was like, wow, with the lessons and the way you present them to me and how you learn, you should write a book one day. And I said, I'll think about it. And then other kids at the school were like, Kyle, you should write a book. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to write a physical book. I'm more comfortable with dancing, so that's what I want to do. So the Life of JustSole is basically my physical autobiography, starting from being born to my collegiate experience into, marrying my wife and battling around the world and starting a company. So that's what that was about.
How's seeing that production come, of your life, about your life, come to life?
One piece at a time. Each piece that I made were from moments in my life. And I kind of sort of, when I choreograph, I want to choreograph it like a movie. I want it to be something that can be visually, emotionally, and mentally followed. So instead of, the dance specifically being only for entertainment's sake, but also having a message. So when I made the piece, it's a James Brown suite called The Good Man's Play, and where it spoke about my first heartbreak. And being in college, puppy love, you think you're a lot more than that first heartbreak. It's crazy. So just going through my emotions. Right. So, the piece notates how I went through my integration into Philadelphia with meeting this girl and then finding out that she had been, unfaithful. And so seeing my emotional roller coaster of that, going from Payback to Superbad to This Is a Man's World.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically having the dance and the work itself be a metaphor for what's going on in real life. Okay.
Nice. I bet it was a great show. I bet it was.
Oh, man. It was amazing. Everybody had a great time. We had a great time.
I saw some of the pictures from it, and it looked like, it was like a quality production, not just something, it looked like a lot of work put into it.
Most definitely. I just received a grant from the Pew Center for Arts and Heritage, and the grant was for $60,000. So that was the blessing that was able to allow the vision to be fully seen. The first iteration of this project, my wife and I, we did it at New Freedom Theater in North Philadelphia on a $1,200 budget. We made it happen.
Wow.
And so to move from a $1,200 budget to a $60,000 budget was like, whoa. It really allowed. You can't. That was top of the line. It really allowed me to see and envision the work exactly as I saw it in my mind, and I got that opportunity to see it, and forever blessed for that. So grateful for that opportunity from the Pew Center for Arts and Heritage.
Awesome. Shout out to them. Well, tell everyone where we can learn more about JustSole Street Dance Theater Company, and where we can keep up with you on social media, website, anything you want to let the listeners know.
Most definitely. You can find me at Kyle JustSole, JustSole Clark on Facebook, at JustSole, SOLE, on Instagram, on our Facebook, JustSole Street Dance Theater. No company on the end. It'll just say JustSole Street Dance Theater. That is the homepage on Facebook. You can follow us on what gigs we're doing next, as well as get pictures and follow-ups from events that we do. All will be there. And we're coming up with a .com soon. It'll be JustSoleDance.com. So that'll be coming very shortly.
Listen, man, I thank you so much for taking the time. Again, that's your busy schedule for joining us tonight. And for more information about Kyle JustSole Clark, please go to our website, thestevenknightshow.com. We'll be right back.